that day, I'll tell you. I went home high as a kite.
I always hate to demonstrate these things on the piano or anything, but it was beautifully clear.
It was nice because I could right away hear that was violins. I know that.
Oh, yeah. He has always a lot of good ideas. Yeah. I usually start. Are you taking you? Oh yeah, because you can ask us questions from there.
Yeah.
It's very casual.
Oh, it's very
kind of like dropping on the Joneses for brunch.
Well, I usually play these themes for him, you know, on the piano, and he has very good reaction, a very good sense of what's musically right, and he helps me a lot too. A lot of times, I think you know, this thing I was just playing, E.T., it used to finish, that was the end of the music, and Stephen said it needs another phrase, other kind of section, and that's what this thing, maybe something like that. He says, yeah, go ahead, you know, keep it going, that kind of thing that he does, you know, with me.
Oh, that was, yeah, I remember very well. It was before I went out to make the movie The Sugarland Express. I had heard two of John's scores on Mark Rydell movies, one from The Cowboys with John Wayne, and the other before that, several years before, called The Reavers with Steve McQueen. And I was nuts about the music. I'm a soundtrack collector, and I've collected the scores of great composers from the first pressings, the first time scores got into record stores, which was in the early 50s. I had a huge collection, and for many years, there was like a drought. A lot of the great old composers like Dmitri Tiomkin and Max Steiner were no longer writing music anymore. Dimi was losing his sight, and I think Max died in the early 60s. And there was just a real loss of pure symphonic film music. And then when I heard the Reavers and the Cowboys, I said, my God, this guy must be 80 years old. I really thought, I thought maybe here's some guy who's 80 years old who maybe wrote his greatest scores of his life. And I wondered how this guy was, and I met this young man named John Williams. I was amazed. I said, oh, my God, you know, it's a rebirth. Film music is back. It's alive. Hallelujah.
And I was only 75. And in my experience, I think he's very special as a filmmaker. And also as a person, as an interesting person. Why he's such an interesting filmmaker, I think. And tremendous insight into what makes an entertaining film. And tremendously musical, if you don't mind my saying it, Stephen. Musical in the sense of rhythm. I think Stephen has a wonderful sense of rhythm in his films. And as a musician, it's something that I appreciate. Every film, the action has a kind of tempo or rhythm in it, or it doesn't have it, you know? And I look at the film, I'm trying to find out just exactly how fast is it or how slow is it, because the film is telling me what the tempo is. And with Stephen's film, I find it all very rhythmical and easy, in a funny way of saying it, easier to score, easier for me to make music for than a lot of other people's films, because the films themselves have a singing, musical quality. I mean, particularly a thing like E.T., fabulous for music, because the picture has phrases almost, you know?
That's because I make my movies with Johnny in mind.
No, but it's true. The bicycle goes. It's it's perfect for music, you know. And I think Stephen is very, and in every kind of art, in the theater, in opera, musical, comedy, all the rest, the best directors for me are people who are also musical. I think it's part of the art of what they do.
Remember the Jaws
scene, you know, I can tell you, when the first day with Stephen said, what are you going to play for Jaws? I went, he said, you're kidding.
I said, you're crazy. This is a serious movie. I thought he was going to say, oh, no, I'm only kidding. And he was about to play this very poetic pastoral symphony. And John said, no, you've made a very primal movie. You know, your movie's about the dinosaurs, the ancient world, the land of the giants. It's not about, it's not poetic, it's not art. It's artful. And he played those baser sounds, which I love. You know, that is Jaws. That's the voice of Jaws. Oh, my God, you asked the hardest questions. I can't believe it.
I don't think I could do that without thinking about it, but it would be a nice idea to write him a piece, you know?
No, it wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I don't want a piece. I will express myself and through music on this piano as I know myself, okay? Which is very simply like this. With occasionally this. And that's how I feel about myself. That's it.
You mean this? I think of flying. This melody's always getting higher. And then the middle section. I want to go over to this section. He's conducting. That's when the bicycle takes off. It's easy to be inspired by such a thing with so much lift, you know, and love in it. It's a very inspiring film. Applaud. Maybe it's this chord.
Forever, ever, forever.